Hey everyone, this is Lisa from NYC Gal Out. Welcome back to my channel. We are doing the season 10 episode 2 recap of Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, I had just started watching the season. This is the first time I'm ever watching the franchise. It's only the second episode. I actually enjoy it a lot more than Atlanta. Beef with Kay. Wendy's like, I don't even know what the hell we're fighting about. I don't know what she's upset about. And I was like, you know what? Wendy makes sense to me. I felt like Kay was looking for a problem to have with Wendy. I don't know if it was because of a storyline or what. And she's saying she feels dismissed by her and all this other stuff. I don't know. Kay just seems like she's a little bit too much. We'll see. I don't know any of these ladies' backstories or dynamics. This is only the second episode that I've watched of Potomac. But despite the insurance fraud allegation, Wendy makes sense to me. This whole fiasco that Kay's trying to have, and like, I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe I'll get it as the season progresses, but for now, I don't get it. I go into these things with an open mind. I don't, look at what other people are saying or whatever. I go into it with the season knowing what I know, and that's it. So in the second episode, Angel, she hosts an event for the ladies. She's having like some sort of spiritual namaste meditation thing going on. I don't know. I'm not into any of that yoga crap. Like sound bowls and whatever, kumbaya and all this other stuff. So the ladies all go to her house. They're still talking about Stacey and her bad breath. I mean, I feel bad for that girl. Now, Giselle and Kay, they meet up for like lunch or something. Kay's telling Giselle that she had an event. The event wasn't shown, but is shown in a flashback, and basically was like telling the ladies that were there about her interaction with Wendy and how she felt like, Wendy was being dismissive of her. She felt like Angel was sighing with Wendy. I don't really know what Kay's beef with her is. Like, are you wanting her to be like your bosom buddy? Like, what is going on here? These are like grown ass women at your big old age. You're still feeling like you need your bestie or something. Like, I don't know. She's kind of giving me pick me energy. She's giving me pick me energy. But anyway, she was telling Giselle that she feels like Angel had taken Wendy's side because Angel had asked her, well, did you ask about her sick child? Anyway, I don't know. And then she said something like she had a chin check Angel. She said it. The mic picked it up. The flashback picked it up. Well, that was the exact words she used. And Giselle was like, okay. So now at Angel's get-together, Giselle basically tells Angel that conversation that she had with Kay. Angel's like, what? That didn't happen and all this other stuff. So Kay comes in. Kay denies it at first. But, of course, production's going to play the flashback, which they did. Giselle, she stood on business because she's like, oh no, we're going to do this right now because then you're making me seem like a liar and I'm not a liar. And she said, you told me, and the exact words that you used was that you chin checked her. Let me tell you, I had no idea what the hell chin check was. When Tia was like, chin check? Are they speaking a different language? Like, what? I've never heard of this. I'm with you, Tia. I've never heard of chin check. I don't know if that's what the young kids are using nowadays, but I've never heard of chin check. And apparently other people haven't either because the producer asked Giselle to explain what chin check is. And Giselle explains chin check. So I'm just going to title this recap chin check. Well, no, I can't because next week's episode is actually called Chin Check. So I don't want there to be confusion. Anyway, you see, like, this is getting too messy. But anyway, I'm like, yeah, Kay, that's supposed to be your friend of like 20 years. You said it to Giselle, but now you're trying to backtrack that you didn't say it, but obviously you said it. Now, when Giselle calls her out on it, she says, okay, well, if I use that word, then I apologize. She's trying to make it seem as if she didn't say it. And I didn't like that because she definitely said it. Angel said that she was like surprised because that sounds like a very aggressive word. And that doesn't sound like something that Kay would use. See, punk. If your friend of 20 years is like, yeah, this girl doesn't talk like that. But now all of a sudden you're presenting this persona where you're a big bad bitch. Punk. So whatever, they have that conversation. She said that she didn't say it. Giselle stood on business, 10 toes down. And then she's like, well, if I didn't use that word, I apologize, whatever. So the next thing they get into is with Ashley and Stacey. Stacey pulls her damn phone out. I legit thought like, okay, we're going to talk about this lawsuit. And she pulled out some like nonsense about, I'm like, who the fuck cares about whether she's divorced or not? Do you care whether she's divorced or not? I don't, because like legit, she's back with her ex-husband. So it's like, I don't even care if they are, if they aren't, like, I don't care. I care about her and old boy getting like him suing her for her paycheck, her Bravo paycheck. So when Ashley was like, all right, we're getting down to business now. And she pulled out that and Ashley was like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? I'm with you, Ashley. I'm with you. I was like, what? I thought when she pulled the phone out and she was like, I didn't want to talk about this yet because I legit thought she was going to pull out old boy's lawsuit. In the first episode, we actually learned that Ashley, she got a really nice settlement from her divorce. She was allowed to cash out on one of the marital investments. And the investment, I think the value was $20 million. So she was able to cash out on that. So kudos to her. And then she has a new man, Candy. He's a lot younger than her and whatever else. They were going to the correspondence dinner in DC. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see that. Giselle and Ashley, they meet up with Cookie. I don't know who Cookie is, but apparently Cookie is very close to Karen Huger. I guess maybe that's like, one of her like best friends or close friends or something. But Cookie is giving info to the ladies about Karen's well-being and everything else. And they're having brunch or lunch and just giving the ladies updates about what's going on. But then it pivots to Stacey. And then according to Ashley, Stacey is trying to hook up with one of like the former cast members' ex-husband. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Stacey just feels like she needs a storyline. I don't know if this is like some weird, like whatever. I do know that like that season where everybody was like saying that Kenya was like paying someone to be like her significant other, or that she didn't even have a significant other, that it was just like some imaginary boyfriend, that they were saying that she was doing it because like she doesn't have a man in her life. And so like, she was basically doing something because she didn't want to be alone or whatever. I don't even know what it is. But I feel like, I don't know if that's what Stacey's doing. Stacey actually has a husband and a daughter that she's able to film with. I think with Stacey, she just needs drama. She just needs to have something going on. At the beginning of when they're filming the season, any upcoming season, when they're getting ready to film, each field producer that is assigned to the talent, they'll say to their talent, to their housewife, what do you have going on this season? And maybe she just feels like she needs to produce something. And that's why this is like so crazy. But the girls, their eyes all bugged out and was like, what? No way. Stacey, she does meet up with Wendy to talk and whatever. And they're talking about Happy Stacey. So apparently Happy Eddie and his whole weed thing, Wendy at last season's reunion was like Happy Stacey business popping up. She's basically trying to do what Eddie's doing with his Happy Eddie business and yada yada. Stacey explains it that, we were just in talks and whatever. But Giselle says that Ashley's second bloom party, that some guy, they had gotten like some tea from some guy, was just like, you're the guy that basically told Stacey to go kick rocks about like, collaborating and trying to open up the weed business and whatever. And he's like, yeah, basically. I don't know. It's just, I'm trying to be open-minded with all these ladies, but Stacey, you are looking bad. Like, I mean, even Dr. Wendy and Happy Eddie with their insurance fraud business going on, you're still looking so bad. You're still looking so bad, Stacey. I don't know. But, and then there was this whole thing where, Tia, when she was talking about her Nigerian heritage and how she has royalty, she's from royalty. So I guess when Stacey said she was Nigerian, Wendy was just like, girl, what? Shut up. Anyway, that was basically the episode. What do you guys think of Stacey? I don't know. She feels very fake and phony. I could see why the girls are not really jiving with her. It does not seem like any of the girls really like her, even though I know that, Wendy is the one that people more or less are having a problem with. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, don't forget to hit the like, follow, subscribe, leave me a comment, and all of that good jazz. I'll check you guys out later. Bye.